Hello everybody, today we will speak about the second group of Bach flower essences about uncertainty. This group includes 6 remedies, 3 of them help in situations of indecision, Cerato, Scleranthus and Wild Oat, 2 help in doubts and hopelessness, Gentian and Gorse, and finally 1 helps with a feeling of weakness, it's Hornbeam. Let's start with Cerato. Cerato cannot decide between 2 options, but the problem isn't that he doesn't know really. He feels what's right for him, but he wants to shift the responsibility for decision to somebody else, and that is why he constantly asks the other people for their opinion. And he may become more and more confused because these opinions can differ. And finally, he decides for one of these opinions, but he is often disappointed because he finds out that his very first opinion was the right one. We can compare Cerato with Scleranthus. Scleranthus also cannot decide between 2 options, but Scleranthus doesn't ask the other people. Wild Oat that has lost direction in life generally. Mimulus has a fear, and he may have a fear of making a decision, for example. Large cannot decide because of lack of self-confidence, and Centauri may know what's right for him, but doesn't want to disappoint the other people, doesn't like to tell no. And this is Scleranthus. Scleranthus cannot decide between 2 options. At the first time he prefers one, then his mood changes and he prefers another one, and so on. And these changes of opinion can be very fast, like weather vane. And he does not ask the other people for their opinion, and he may also have quick changes of mood, like laughing and crying. We can compare Scleranthus with Cerato, which asks for advice, Wild Oat that misses direction in life generally. Then Chicory may also change his decision quickly, but the main theme of Chicory is mother love, and he wants to keep his loved persons near, so this changing of mood, changing of decision may be a sort of emotional extortion. And Heather always wishes to attract the attention of the other people, and this changing of decision may also attract attention. And this is Wild Oat. Wild Oat is like a compass that doesn't know where the north is. And these people often have many talents. The problem is that they do not know which direction to go, whether to become a scientist or sportsman or musician, because they know everything, but they do not feel this calling that could guide them in their life. And because they feel they are losing time, they are wasting time, they feel frustration. Again, we can compare with Cerato and Scleranthus that cannot decide between 2 options, and Walnut. Walnut we can tell, is the exact opposite of Wild Oat. He knows in the depth of his heart, he knows perfectly what he wishes, but he lets the other people influence him. They give him advices and recommendations and have some expectations, and he adapts to them. And this parrot represents Gentian. He at first tries to fly, and he is quite successful, but then some moment comes and suddenly something is wrong and he falls down. And after some time he starts to fly again. So there are alternations between an attempt and failure, and every failure makes him more and more disheartened. Of course, sometimes this Gentian state may appear after one failure, but frequently we can see repeated failures. Some people may become eternal pessimists that always expect some problem. Gentian is also useful during recovery after some long disease. Some people seem to recover well, but then some small problem comes and their state worsens again. So, and it may cause doubts, and they may feel disheartened because of that. We can compare Gorse, that is hopeless and doesn't invest sufficient energy to a new attempt, so he knows that he won't succeed. Gentian always tries to keep at least the smallest chance, preserves some chance to succeed. Chestnut Butt repeats the same mistake over and over, and he doesn't feel disappointed or hopeless, he just doesn't learn from his experience. Mustard feels a lack of joy in life, so he is depressed, and this feeling depressed, there is often no clear cause for that. There is no failure or something. And Sweet Chestnut feels extreme suffering and anguish because he tries to resist an unavoidable change in his life. And he's active. That's the difference from Gorse. Both can be very hopeless, but Sweet Chestnut struggles, but Gorse is very passive. And this bird represents Gorse, that doesn't make a real attempt to fly. His effort is only symbolic. Gorse feels resignation and hopelessness, and this hopelessness becomes a sort of a protective reaction that protects him against disappointment. He knows that he won't succeed, and he may come to the therapy and tell you directly that he will try, but he doesn't believe it can really help him. We can compare. The other essence is Gentian feels discouraged, but he still preserves some hope. Wild Rose has resigned without any sufficient cause. He just stays in a disagreeable situation but doesn't feel hopeless. Sweet Chestnut, extreme suffering because he tries to resist unavoidable change. Larch doesn't make a try to change the situation or doesn't invest enough energy. But the difference is that in Larch it is the problem of self-confidence. If you ask Larch whether another person can succeed in his situation, he answers yes, of course, because he is much more capable than I am. But in Gorse, Gorse tells you no, this situation is helpless, nobody can, and hopeless, nobody can succeed. And again, Mustard that lacks joy in life without any clear reason frequently. And this beetle represents Hornbeam. He pushes his ball, but the ball grows during the time, and it includes work, partner, children, and homework, and you can see how his movements are slower and slower, and he is more and more exhausted. And this is the theme of Hornbeam. Hornbeam feels overburdened by too many routine activities, like administrative work or taking care of a household. And they feel they do not have enough energy, especially in the morning when they go to work, or on Monday morning. And during the day, their energy may get better. They can feel worse even when they do nothing or sleep, because they feel so tired that they go sleep. But after awakening, they feel that they are still more tired. What helps is when they mobilize themselves and do some sport or meet friends, and it can help them boost energy. And they may also use some stimulants like coffee, energetic drinks to mobilize themselves. We can compare Hornbeam with Olive. Olive is exhausted after some long, difficult period, like taking care of an ill person or after some long disease. And this patient has a problem, has a difficulty to recover. He is still tired after some short effort or work, and in the morning he may feel quite well, but during a few hours he is tired again. And Centauri cannot say no, and that is why he takes over the other people's work, or takes care of the other people when the other people could take care of themselves. Centauri has a fear of refusal, and she cannot refuse the help. So, still once, Cerato can decide between two things and asks the other people for their recommendation. Another remedy for indecision is Scleranthus, that hesitates between two options and doesn't ask. Then Wild Oat, that lacks direction in his life and feels frustration because of that. And then two remedies for hopelessness and doubts. Gentian is pessimistic and disheartened after failure or after repeated failures. And Gorse, that feels hopeless and has already given up. And there is also a remedy for weakness, Hornbeam, that lacks strength generally, and he feels overwhelmed by routine, boring work. And that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. And in the next video we will speak about the third group of Bach flower essences, about insufficient interest in present circumstances.